6:47 back for the news you need to know in our Smart Start for Wednesday. Happening this morning, authorities are going to share more about this ongoing investigation into a Minnesota trans man's torture and killing in the Finger Lakes.
On that note, the Ontario County DA's office, state police, and members of the sheriff's team plan to speak about the grand jury proceedings in the Sam Nordquist case. 7 people thus far have been arrested and charged in connection to his murder last month. Authorities say the victim was physically and sexually tortured for 2 months leading up to his death. We'll have the coverage of that press conference live at 9:15 in Canandaigua. Visit us at rochesterfirst.com.
Another case we're following today. The sentencing is coming down for the man from Brooklyn who kidnapped and sexually assaulted a teen last year from our area. Just last month, 41-year-old Sadar Osman pled guilty to all charges he was facing, kidnapping as a sexually motivated felony, 2 counts of criminal sex act. In March 25th, last year on that day, an alert came out for a 14-year-old girl from Brighton who was convinced by Osman to leave her home in the middle of the night after meeting her on the line. That's when Osman restrained the teen in his car, took her downstate, and she was found a day later alone in a Bronx apartment. Osman will be sentenced coming up at 11 a.m.
One of 2 parolees convicted of attempted murder in Rochester is expected to be sentenced today. On December 26, 2023, Shavar Brooks and Miguel Clemens shot a 46-year-old man in his car on North Goodman Street. The 2 men sped off after the victim in their car boxed him in against the side of the road. That is when those suspects began shooting the victim, and he was hit 3 times. The man was rushed to the hospital where eventually he did recover. Clemens and Brooks, both on parole at the time, wearing electronic monitoring devices on their ankles. Clemens, that sentencing will be at 2 o'clock.
Sunrise traffic updates here at 6:49. Main Expressway is moving along at speed as you're looking live from our Greater Rock Sky Eye. East side 590 north and southbound all good to go. Now listen, can't really see a lot of rain there in that picture, but we are talking about that with the satellite and radar view here now with James.
Yeah, waiting on this rain to really pick up in intensity. It hasn't yet, and it's been pretty light. I think we got probably a couple more hours of just kind of this light sprinkles here and there. If you are heading toward Buffalo, that's where the heaviest rain is going to be right now. But for the most part around Monroe County, we're in pretty good shape. Just a couple of sprinkles here and there. Numbers firmly above freezing. Penfield, the cool spot at 37. Most of us in the mid-40s. Greece at 49 degrees. We'll get into the upper 50s this afternoon. A peek toward the rest of your week. The 8-day forecast at the end of the show.
All right, thank you, James. Back to our news. And most of the some 8,000 correction officers around the state still aren't back on the job this morning as the unlawful strikes at prisons drag on.
Now the Department of Corrections wants to hold them in contempt for failing to comply with a temporary restraining order. Court records filed yesterday seek the contempt order to allow docs to punish COs with fines, even imprisonment. Doc says only about a quarter of the officers and sergeants have gone back to work. Members of the National Guard are still in prisons while the impasse drags on.
The New York Civil Liberties Union did file a lawsuit against docs, claiming the ongoing strike is violating rights of inmates by preventing their access to the court system. And speaking with lawyers, the NYCLU filed the lawsuit on behalf of the Prisoners Legal Services of New York. Doc says it does not comment on pending litigation. We do have that lawsuit in full if you want to read it at rochesterfirst.com.
More staff members at Mid-State Correctional Facility are on administrative leave while the state investigates the death of a 22-year-old man who was incarcerated there. And the latest check from Governor Hochul, there are 15 people now on leave. Messiah Nantwi died at the Utica Area Prison Saturday. He was serving a 5-year sentence for weapons charges. Nantwi also awaiting trial for 2 pending murder cases in New York City. Docs has not yet confirmed what caused his death, but in a statement, Hochul says that early reports point to extremely disturbing conduct leading up to that. The state attorney general's office is conducting a preliminary review.
Despite years and years of major opposition from neighbors who have spoke out over this, the Seneca Meadows landfill project, it is here to stay, and it will be expanding. After postponing a vote for months, last night the town board did vote, approving the local permit and host community agreement for the landfill to continue operations through 2040 and grow the footprint by 42 acres. Now, those who pledge to keep fighting are calling on the governor with this message: don't trash the birthplace of women's rights.
The bottom line is, it's things like this, which basically is destroying the ability for this area to become a cultural center. Because who's going to want to stay in a cultural center that smells basically like a sewer?
We did a bunch of projects on it, and to just understand the extent of the degradation that's happening it's pretty crazy. It's going to go on and on and on, and we're just going to keep uncovering new problems and new issues. So it's better just to stop it now and to uncover all of the issues before it gets too far.
Here's the thing, the town board did vote yes. As we reported, the state DEC, though, has the final say on the extension to operate as well as the expansion of the landfill.
President Trump touted the accomplishments of his first 6 weeks in office during a speech to the joint session of Congress last night.
It was a wide-ranging address lasting about an hour and 40 minutes. The president said America's back, promises to lower prices, bring peace around the world, and safety to the U.S. borders. It was the longest ever presidential speech to Congress. The economy, the main topic. He defended imposing the new tariffs that kicked in officially this week on imports from Canada, Mexico, and China. He also pledged to put reciprocal tariffs on other countries next month.
Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that.
Fellow Republicans praised the speech. It was blasted by Democrats, one of which, Al Green from Texas, faces possible discipline after he was removed from the chamber. Local Democrats and Republicans are weighing in as well on the president's speech. Some praising the message, others pushing back, saying the two sides have never been more divided. We did get this statement from Democratic Congressman Joe Morelli that says the speech was exactly what we've come to expect, more meaningless promises designed to distract from the reckless and destructive policies of the administration. He goes on to say the American people are not fooled. They know we need real solutions to lower costs and keep communities safe. Morelli says building a stronger economy as well. Not more tax breaks needed for millionaires and billionaires. He says we should be standing up for middle-class families and protecting our freedoms, defending democracy, the very values that have always defined our nation.
Meanwhile, Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney has a different take. She says, quote, "It has been 43 days since President Trump was sworn in, and he has already accomplished more for the American people than any modern president. America's golden age is finally here. He has already signed more than 100 executive actions reversing the disastrous policies of the Biden administration and reinstating his America First agenda to make America strong, secure, and competitive once again," end quote.
6:55, let's go inside the huddle. The NFL's franchise tag deadline is come and gone. The Bills, as expected, did not use the tag on anyone. Two teams did, both rivals in the AFC. The Bengals tagged Cincy's receiver T. Higgins, and the Chiefs put the tag on offensive guard Trey Smith, so they are not available as free agents. It's the fewest number of tags that have been used going back more than 30 years. Also announced yesterday, Josh Allen has a new partnership with Skydance Sports. He's going to be working on media, scripted, unscripted content, other branded deals with the company. The agreement is compared to what Peyton Manning has been doing with Omaha Productions. He's done shorts, different series. Allen tells The Hollywood Reporter he's excited to further his creative ambitions through storytelling, to use the platform to do good and be good. He says that's very important. Skydance Sports was formed 3 years ago in partnership with the NFL, and Allen is a big name to carry that group forward. Bills fans saying, where do I sign up? Yeah. Download the episodes, whatever it is.
Already.
Yes, already.
Well, he's on every episode, every commercial that you see on the breaks on our channel, and then across Western New York. So he's already got that acting bug, I guess we shall say. He's on the cereal boxes, the whole nine. Right? 8-day forecast here. Rain showers today. Wind a bit as well. That really picks up as we get into tonight. 60, but most of the day spent in the 50s. Tomorrow, our high temperature will likely be in the morning. And then we've got kind of a mix to snow showers as we get into the afternoon. Temperatures tumbling, cloudy Friday, and then, there's some systems that kind of move on by over the weekend, but otherwise just kind of scattered snow showers. Let's enjoy the clear skies we've got this morning, because this time next week, it will still be dark.
Yes, it will. We're back in 30 minutes with more news and weather.
Have a great day. Stay dry.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather.